I wish to tell you why it's a good morning. The sun's actually shining today. And look at those beautiful green trees eating up all the CO2. And the water's clean. Well, for some of us. Yeah, so on my last vid, I'm talking away and didn't realize the camera shut off on me. So basically, to pick up where I was at, was if you take a look at Alberta, you've got 63 counties, but then you have a number of prisoner of war camps. One of the problems that this nation has had is the separation of the original peoples of this land and the newcomers of this land. Now, we're how many hundreds of years later, we basically have a whack of people of this land, from this land. I mean, we have nowhere else to go. So that would kind of make us, if nothing else, at least cousins, because their mother ate of this land and bore them of this land, and our mother ate of this land and bore us of this land. So, that would make us related in a fashion that I think is a very high standing. Nobody's going anywhere. As a matter of fact, they're now going to push, and they're propagandizing 100 million people in Canada by the end of the century. Well, they're going to push that. They're not just advertising it as a good idea. This is what they're going to do. So get ready, folks. Just get ready, folks. But getting back to the constitutional conferences. Now, this is the way folks can set this up. Is there's 63 counties, plus there's a number of prisoner of war camps we call Indian reserves, and now if every community, every county can put together a conference and start drafting up a constitution, and then have a spokesperson, of some sort, to present. So you'd have, I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure how many reserves are within, say, Alberta. And I'm using Alberta. Alberta's a pretty easy one to use. So I'm not thinking about Saskatchewan at all. It's just, Saskatchewan has no counties. They're a lot like Alberta in the fact that they were created by an enactment. They're not ground up meets and bounds provinces or states. They're just a jurisdiction enacted on paper. So Saskatchewan and Alberta don't really exist. There's no actual land that belongs to the people of Alberta. No land that belongs to the people of Saskatchewan. That's their excuse. It's the parent corporation of Canada that has charge over Alberta and Saskatchewan, which is why they can come in and do whatever the feds feel like they wish to do. And this is why, Quebec, on the other hand, which is sovereign, or mostly sovereign, right, in their own way, in their Napoleonic civil law way, this is why they believe and see that they actually own you and own Alberta and own Saskatchewan, and they're better because they're your handlers, your owners, your bosses, your chattel to them. It's not their fault. It's our fault for not creating for our forefathers not creating something together, for our forefathers allowing the peoples of this land and my native cousins to be separated and picked on and ostracized from society, instead of growing together as a nation together. It's beyond me. Like, in a school district where there's, say, Blackfoot, or a school district where there's, say, Cree, or these original peoples, it's beyond me why there's no mandatory teaching of the ways of the people of the land that we are now all part of. It's to keep us indifferent, and honestly, coast to coast now, like We are indifferent. All over the place. Everybody hates everybody now. It's crazy. And it was all orchestrated by those infiltrators and traitors that we have that are, you know, supposed to act as public representatives. But they don't. They don't represent the public. What they do is they represent their own agendas, and then they pretty much land-based, brown boss, socially kill anybody who doesn't agree with them, and ostracize them. And I mean, you know, their idea of teaching these days is to throw, you know, every kid that, because, you know, kids don't grow the same. And you know, not all the kids are the same. Some actually are late bloomers. You never heard the term late bloomer before? But you know, to just throw them on clinical drugs and sit them in a corner and force them to pass. There again, they have no lawful excuse why they're, you know, well, they do have a lawful excuse, but hey, they're now legitimate to sign their name and be accountable for anything they sign their name to. Simple as that. Now, things can be rescinded. You know, at one time I believed it was a benefit, and now I see it does cause harm, loss, and injury to I and my family, and I hereby rescind my position with you people. Simple as that. You know, what are they going to do? Throw you in jail, force you until you're forced? Well, yeah, that's what they're doing, but they're doing it to the person, and they're using your body as security. And there's a lot of that. Like, people, come on guys, you got to know this stuff. This is basic. This is how they trick us. But getting back to the constitutional conferences. So like I say, Saskatchewan's got 293 municipalities plus their prisoner of war camps. I mean, that's a you know, wow. There's not one county, no regional district. Everything's run by municipalities. Whereas, you know, there's a few districts in municipal districts within Alberta, but it's mostly split up. It's like 63 counties plus their prisoner of war camps. And so, like, if everyone from the prisoner of war camps and every different camps that we call reserves, and everyone that within the counties, if everybody starts to hold meetings, and this is like when we as folks, those of us of mankind, when we partake together in cleaning our house, to clean our backyard, as a people, as a nation, this is where solidarity will come. And because if it's grassroots and of and from the people of this land, from this land, then everybody has standing on this. The establishment, anything establishment does to come against the folks, the people, that, you know, those of mankind of this land, well, they can only maintain a position, and they're weak. They're weak. So, like, getting the Constitution together is the most important thing. So you got 63 counties and a number of prisoner of war camps, and if everybody within those counties and prisoner of war camps starts having meetings and starts writing up a constitution, and then each one elects a representative, and so you could have, let's say, and please forgive me that I don't know how many reserves are within the jurisdiction of Alberta, but let's say there's 20. I don't know how many. Say 20. 63. Let's say there's 37. Let's make it an even 100. Okay, so let's say there's 37, and so there's 100 spokespersons, one for each area, one for each county, one for each prisoner of war camp, and then have those spokespersons go and hash things out in a public meeting at a public hall. So there'd be only 100 of them, say, just saying for easy numbers, and then so you have your meetings. They're worked out, they're recorded, and then I don't know if you'd want the whole world to see the meetings. I don't know if you'd wish to have, but maybe have them recorded, and then each spokesperson can bring. I don't know, maybe record it and let it go viral. What the hell? I don't believe that anybody who represents the public should be allowed to do anything in secret. Nothing. Nothing, because you have no rights. Okay, you have duties, obligations, responsibility as a servant. All right, you have no rights. You only have rights as man, as mankind, right? So just because you're a servant doesn't mean because you're also a man, you're not open for abuse, all right? There's always a man or a woman behind the person, always. Just the fact that the establishment does not wish to recognize that and only sees the man or woman behind the person as security for the person. And they use you as security for the person. So anyway, so you got, I'd say we got 100 people, and so they're hashing it out, and they hash it out for a few days or whatever it is, and then okay, we're going to give this up, and we're going to everybody settle on that, or maybe come to the to argue together and bring it to a point where, okay, here's what all 100 can agree upon. Now let's argue over the points that we're not agreeing upon, and then take it back to the people and have our meetings there to see if the people are willing to play give and take with certain things and how important it is to the folks. But the Constitution doesn't have to be that difficult, right? It doesn't have. So the articles of the Constitution just have to be basically straight up. You know, have a short preamble, right? That recognizes the fact that man is sovereign over its creation, right? As our Creator is sovereign over us. I mean, we're not sovereign over our lives. Nobody is, right? You live and you die. So the Big Bang people can, you know, that's your God, whatever. It was a Big Bang out in space, and space is ever expanding and all that kind of stuff. I know the native folks believe in, they have, depending on which folks you're talking about, they all have their creation story, okay? And actually, you know, if Native studies were mandatory in school, all the kids would understand, or they would have a better understanding of our cousins, and be able to look at them like there's you know, there's a lot of honor with a lot of these folks, man. You know, and they've been beaten down, stomped and abused by the establishment. With our blessings, okay, maybe not our blessings, but our forefathers' blessings. Why our forefathers' blessings? Because we did nothing to stand up for these folks. We did nothing to stand up for these folks. To stand with these people. Now we got, you know, we got these folks that they come in, you know, these Rockefeller funded, George Soros funded groups, and protest pipelines across Indian land, and then they leave, and they leave their garbage behind. You know, they don't bury their crap when they poop in the woods and that kind of stuff. They're a dirty bunch, a whole whack of them, and so they leave, and then what? And then what? So the native folks are still living in squalor, right where they were left. You know, what are these protesters, which most of them are professional protesters, that's how they earn their coin, but what are they doing to work with our native folks? You know, it's all crap. It's just all crap. And that's why I believe that, you know, if, you know, sovereign, those sovereign prisoner war camps, what we call reserves, I mean, they could be sovereign counties for those tribes of people, and those counties can elect their representative too. And so I was going to get into lobbying a bit. Okay, lobbyists must be outlawed, but not in all its forms, like slavery. You know, well, what do you mean not in all its forms? Okay, so say a corporation, a company wants to do something in a neighborhood. Yeah, of course, we got our government there to pay the bills and do what they're, you know, we designed them to do, okay, what we created and authored them to do, okay, right now they're authoring us, but what we have authored them to do. So like if a corporation or somebody wants to do something, what they need to do, wherever it is they wish to set up, they need to go to the people okay, and lobby the people. Not the representative of the county, but the people of the county. Hold some town meetings, explain to the people what you wish to do, and what benefits there may be. You know, maybe local schools or churches, or maybe they got bad water, so let's take a prisoner of war camp with bad water. Maybe they want to set something up nearby or whatever, and they say, look, you know, just tell you what we'll do. We'll get you a proper water filtration system, you know, to clean your water, just for entertaining the idea, and allowing us to you know, talk to you about maybe setting something up with you folks, or setting something up within your county. You know, that kind of stuff. That's the way lobbying should be done. And if the people of the county say, no, sorry, man, it's just it's you know, it's risk versus value, and we don't see the value for risk here. Maybe try somewhere else. And that keeps the people. Now, if the people, that's true democracy too, which has its downplays too, because it is a mob rule thing, which is why you have to have a constitution of, for, and by the people, or of, by, for the people. Like, you have to. You know, nobody is sovereign without a proper constitution of, by, and for the people. Nobody is sovereign. So, I mean, our sovereignty as self-governing folks is, well, first off, the kids aren't taught who they are at school, and so on and so forth. So everybody thinks they're a child of Trudeau, a child of the king, a child of the establishment, and we're not. They're there to serve us. We're not here to serve them. All right. So everybody's just dumbed down. I mean, I've talked to people 30, 40 years old that didn't know what the hell a public servant was. I mean, that's how dumbed down we are, man. And these are intelligent people. They just never heard of it before. But, so yeah, I mean, yeah, so, you know, after the Constitution is created and signed into law of the land, with the metes and bounds to the present day of that land established within that Constitution. There. Now everybody has standing. And now we have 63 representatives in the Republic. How we would present ourselves, or if we would wish to present ourselves in Ottawa, is another story altogether. But the important thing is concentrate on the constitutional conferences within your county. Let's get a move on with that. And then, once a constitution has been created of, for, and by the people of Alberta, and it's not going to be, and Saskatchewan, sorry guys, but it's not going to be an easy task. You know, maybe once the constitution of Saskatchewan is done, maybe, you know, you folks can actually grid the place into counties, so that there's, you know, instead of 293 representatives for, or public servants that present their community, you know, maybe a guy could lessen it up a bit, because there is only 1 million people there so far. Until those guys, those globalists get through with you, then you'll have, you know, 10 million people, and nobody will be able to afford a family farm anymore. It'll all be corporate. Nobody will be able to hunt. Nobody will be able to fish, because it'll all be, you know, brought down from the King of Ottawa. You know, that's what they're doing to us. That's what they're doing to us. They ruin the environment with their corporate whoremongers that pay them off, and then they turn around and they punish all the folks who have a right and a standing to access our natural resources for it. That's what goes on. It's time to switch it up. So start working together on the Constitutional Conference within your county. Start her and get her happening. And once you get a constitution voted on within the, I mean, how can anybody argue about having a constitution within the province? I mean, come on, guys. But don't let the legal society, don't let the establishment hand one down to you. If that happens, you're screwed. You're just as screwed now as you know, or you'll be screwed probably even worse than you are now. So, You know, it definitely has to be of, for, and by the people. And have a rule in there, you know, maybe it takes 95% of the public vote to, you know, change one of the articles of the Constitution or something. You know, have something solid that folks can stand on. And it can only be created by us, by ourselves. So, good luck with that, guys.